Right, good day everybody. So this video is just a run over chain rule. So by now we're supposed to know how to differentiate at least a polynomial and also differentiate simple trig functions sin x and cosine x, right? So what we work with in this section is a rule. We can do it two ways, what I like to call the long way and the short way. So the long method is what we call the substitution method. So you start off with that first is the long method. So our solution, right? Solution. Alright, so this is the long method here. Alright, so the long method is, when we write it down, so y is equal to 5x cubed minus 2x all to the power of 7. Now what we do is we make a substitution. We let u, or any what we call any dummy variable or placeholder variable, be equal to whatever is inside this function, whatever is the inner function. So it becomes 5x cubed minus 2x. Now what this does here, if u is equal to this, it means we could replace this with the whole term u. So what this gives us here is that y is equal to u to the power of 7. Yeah, this now becomes u. Now with each one of these here, we could now differentiate them separately. This is u in terms of x, so we could find du dx, which we know is 15x squared, reduce the power by 1 and bring down the whole power, so 15 by 3 is, no, 5 by 3 is 15, sorry, minus, this is x to the power of 1, so it becomes 2. And this is now y in terms of u, so we can now find dy du. So this here becomes, you bring down the 7u to the power of 6. Right now, how do we go from here now? So the formula is a nice easy formula actually. We know that dy dx. Now if we split up dy and dx into two separate fractions, dy over something by something over dx, because we need dy to be in the numerator and dx is in the denominator. Look at the function we had before. We had u before. So this becomes dy du, and this one here could be du over dx, because if we look at it, just generally speaking, this is not the actual proof of it, but the du's will cancel, and that's being said in inverted commas. You will end back up with dy dx. So dy du is this here, 7u to the power of 6 by du dx, which we have here, is 15x squared minus 2. Right now, we did not start off with u in the question, so you need to replace u with what it is, which is 7u. Remember, u is 5x cubed minus 2x into this term here. Now remember, it must be to the power of 6, and inside here now is 15x squared minus 2. This can be written a little bit more neatly, which is 7, bring the 1 with the power of 1 in front, the smaller power in front. 15x squared minus 2 into 5x cubed minus 2x all to the power of 6. And this here is your answer for dy dx. Now this here is your long method. Our short method now, and you can feel free to pause the video there if it is you wanted to go over the solution, right? Now our short method now. Right, short. Right. So as I said, this is made up of, so y is equal to 5x cubed minus 2x all to the power of 7. Now, the short method, as I like to write it, is dy dx is equal to, you notice this here is really the differential of the outer function. You're only differentiating something to the power of 7. So what I like to say is this here is the differential of the outer function by the differential of the inner function. Sorry. Alright, the differential of the inner or the core function. So what is the outer function here? The outer function is, ignore what is inside the brackets. Alright, I have the brackets here. How do you differentiate something to the power of 7? You bring down the 7 and you reduce it by 1. And then you are multiplying that by the differential of the inner function now, which is 15x squared minus 2. And what is on the inside here is 5x cubed minus 2x. And that's it. You just bring this 7 into 15x squared minus 2 into 5x cubed minus 2x, all to the power of 6, which is the same answer as we have underneath there. So the second function, the second method, sorry, is far easier than the first one, right? Sometimes they may want you to work in, so you'll have to do the substitution method, right? So that's what chain rule is. Very, 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 very easy, right? A nice, easy technique to learn here, right? So that's our first technique here. Alright, so let's go into the next question now, somewhere around here. Alright, so find this first differential here. So remember the word differential and derivative and all of those things mean the same thing, right? So our solution, I'll do it the long way. Y is equal to 5 sine x minus x cubed to the power of 4. So you let u be equal to the inner function, which is 5 sine x minus x cubed. If u is equal to everything on the inside here, this will imply that y is equal to, replace this with u to the power of 4. So now we have two separate functions, two distinct functions. So you call this, you can now find, du dx. So du dx, the differential of 5 sine x is 5 cosine of x minus the differential of x cubed is 3x squared. And the y du is equal to, you bring down the 4, so it becomes 4u, reduce the power of 1 to the power of 3. Now, again, what we do is we split up the y dx, because that's what we want to find. The y dx is equal to dy over something by something over dx. The something that goes here is the rate or the change in the dummy variable du. So that's du and du. So it's dy du, which is 4u cubed, by du dx, which is this here, 5 cosine x minus 3x squared. Put that in brackets because it's a compound term or a binomial. So this now becomes, you have to replace the u. So it becomes 4u, which we saw is 5 sine x minus x cubed to the power of 3 by this term here, du dx, which is 5 cosine x minus 3x squared. Alright, I'm just simplifying. This now becomes 4. You put the 1 with the smaller power first, the bracket with the smaller power. 5 cosine x minus 3x squared into 5 sine x minus x cubed. Big mistake here is you could forget this power here to the power of 3. Right? And that's your long method. The short method, as we could see here, this here is the differential of the inside and this is the differential of the outside. So you'll end back up with the same value here. Right? So that there is your chain rule by substitution and also using the short method above here. Feel free to go through, pause the video whenever you want to, and feel free to ask any questions. Right? So that's it until the next video. Take care.